Hey guys, welcome back to Turnpike Mike's podcast. This is going to be a very special episode. I got two very cool friends, close friends that I just met. One of them recently. I've known this guy for a few years now. I got Luis right here, who's an Arsenal fan, and I got my boy Andrew here, who's a Tottenham fan. So this may be a little interesting, guys. Real quickly though, I want them to introduce themselves and tell you guys what made them become fans. So let me pass it off to Luis. Luis, welcome first of all, and what made you become a fan of Arsenal?
Thank you for having me on. Well, I became a fan since I was a kid, probably when Wenger ball was out.
Okay.
Thierry Henry, King. But yeah, I've been a Gunner fan since I was a kid, pretty much.
I respect that. Okay, thank you. And Andrew, what made you become a Spurs fan?
I think it just had to be when they finally released the TV rights. We were able to actually watch it. So you weren't able to watch it when we were younger. And it was Peter Crouch, actually. Weirdly enough, they always called me Peter in high school. So that was kind of my follow. I started following Tottenham because Peter Crouch, and then I loved Kyle Walker and Gareth Bale, and that was it.
Hey,
you guys are special players, so that's why I followed them.
I respect that. I like that. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Going into the next topic, I do want to ask them because we've had a transfer window, and the transfer window ends in like 9 days from this video. What do you rank the transfer window? We'll start with Andrew. From 1 to 10.
It's tough. It's tough because I don't think we've met quite all of our requirements for this transfer window yet. Okay. It's also very tough to get every single player in through 3 months over 2 months we've had us. But we've done some good business. I mean, 7 players, trying to bring on an 8th player on. Our outgoings are getting finalized, wrapped up right now. With Terry Weems and Dombele, Lo Celso, they're all getting shipped out.
Absolutely.
So I would probably do at the moment like a 6.5, 7. They still don't need, they got to address the center back position. They don't have really depth there. Same thing with our creative midfield and potentially someone up top. As well, since we brought in Charleston, we probably should bring one more in just to keep pushing the top 4.
Overkill, my guy. You guys have a great top 3. Yeah.
It is, but hey, you got to be champions. How do you become champions?
Absolutely.
You have top 6. You have 6 guys in tagging, and they all can push like a city.
Competition for places.
That's how you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Luis, what do you rank Arsenal's transfer window?
It's tough to say right now, but I would say probably between 6 and 7, just because we addressed the striker position. That was a big time. We needed that big time. Last year with a Aubameyang situation, and Lacazette wasn't doing, Lacazette was being Lacazette.
Like a threat.
Lacazette, not gonna repeat that. But it was, I think we definitely having Saliba back this season, even though that was 3 seasons ago. I think it's a fresh transfer for us. I think it'll be. You look at him the first few games, he looks amazing. He looks composed, He looks like he's been in the league for so many years, and he's only 21. And I think if we could address maybe now that Pep is gone, address another right wing, for sure, another right wing and another midfielder, because Xhaka's putting in work. He's doing good recently, and he's doing good, but Xhaka.
He has his moments.
Absolutely. And then now that we got Zinchenko, we got Tierney back because Tierney's always injured, and I love Tierney. Don't get me wrong. He's a hustler. He goes for every ball, but Zinchenko just brings a different dynamic into the team. He's a converted center mid into a left back, and I like it. If we can get 2 more signings, and I think get a couple more outgoings like Bellerin out, and
absolutely.
A few of those. Now we got Pepe out, so I think I'll give it a 6 out of 7 out of 10.
I like that. And competition for places is super important. I see that both of you guys alluded to that, and the importance of having guys that can challenge guys for positions. It's super important, and obviously you want to get to the top of the league. You want to get into the Champions League and make a difference. I was going to ask you guys, before the transfer deadline ends, is there a particular player that you guys have in mind for your squads that you want on your team before the transfer deadline ends? Go ahead, Luis, and elaborate if you have a player in mind.
Yeah, I love Pedro Neto from Wolves.
We're linked.
Wolverhampton, yeah. We are linked, but they're asking for a lot, I think he'll give a good competition with Saka. That's last season. Saka was tired. He's young. He needs the rest. And Pedro Neto, he's the same type of player. He's explosive. And I feel like if we can get another center mid, I was hoping for Lucas Paqueta, but it looks like he's probably heading off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Leicester, I think it's Leicester.
No,
West
West
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah.
So I think talking about Leicester.
Yeah.
That's another center mid that I would
I
like.
was gonna ask you,
Tielemans.
Tielemans.
Yeah, he's
We're linked.
I think we need that. We need another center mid. So yeah, I think those two players, Tielemans and Pedro Neto, will probably be like 10 out of 10 transfer, honestly, if we could get them two.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Saka was tired, and we had no European football last year.
Yeah.
And so, imagine now with the Europa, you got a couple cups that you have to try to play, and then you got the league.
Yep.
It's going to be tough. You definitely need more guys in there. Yeah, absolutely. And my guy Andrew, who's
So
the
it's
player
crazy
that you
because
guys...
Luis Becker, I've always been talking to him like all summer. I don't understand why he's going this late, why he's going to West Ham. So there's got to be something there that our clubs are not interested in this type of, I wouldn't say profile, but the exact player. There's obviously something going on for him to be going to West Ham. Doesn't really make a lot of sense if top 4 clubs are trying to go in for him, but there's obviously something there.
And the asking price is not that crazy either.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was like
he's still young, and
he's
very dynamic.
So I was thinking, well, maybe for the Tottenham views, maybe we're going to be looking at someone like James Madison. Or we've had linked before Zaniolo up top.
We've been with James Madison before.
It's crazy. I'm not a big fan of James Madison. I prefer not to have James Madison. I just think that his profile won't be the Tottenham toughness that you can see we're building. We're bringing in players that have attitude, that are mean, and I just don't think that he necessarily suits it. But that type of player, that type of profile, is definitely what Conte is looking for. That's why we're bringing someone like Basuma in that has that little bit more creativity and also the defense. That's huge for our system. Absolutely. I already mentioned on Zaniolo up top. I also think someone like Ndicka, a center back. We need someone covered for Dyer. Maybe even a Max Gilman from Wolves. It's an English-born, young, really tall, built strong. I would think that would be a great backup for Dyer because right now we don't have that position. And I think if we get 2 to 3 of those guys in the next week, I think we're going to be looking really, really good. Really good.
And this week is the week to do it because obviously, time is running out.
Yeah.
On that topic, I do want to ask you guys, on the reverse end, is there a specific player that you guys want to get out of the club that's been there maybe too long or isn't contributing in the way you want him to contribute? Let's start with Drew.
Yeah, so obviously we've had multiple people that have came to our club.
Us too.
And exactly, weirdly we share a lot of interest in that. Where players come up and they just don't prove what they're supposed to. I think a little bit more for us. Versus for you guys, Pepe, that was pretty much your big one. Yeah. We have our 3 guys that we I mentioned before, that we've sent out on loan. I know Brian Gill, unfortunately, is probably going to go out as well. But that right there is literally our list. I mean, we really wanted to get those guys out. I don't think our Sergio Reguilon, I don't think he's going to be able to leave this summer. He picked up an injury.
Wow.
So it sucks because he's going to be our last player that's going to be at the camp. That is a first-team player that's not going to be practicing with the first team. Wow. And I think he's going to be the last one that we have. So if we could somehow get him out the door before the end of the week, I think that would be huge for mentality of the squad to make sure that we're together. That needs to be solid.
Absolutely.
So I would say that would probably be our one and only one. I think we've done all of our business.
Right.
I think you guys have a couple players.
Yeah.
You want to give
Luis mentioned Hector Bellerin. I don't know if you want to elaborate on him or anyone else that you're thinking of.
So, I mean, as you know, over the last few seasons, we had a few players that needed to get out the club, because they were on high wages, they weren't doing anything. I'm not going to say I'm glad, but I'm glad. Lacazette is officially out because, he did provide enough for us during the time he was there, but he just wasn't doing it for us. I think Bellerin needs to... After his ACL injury, he was never the same.
Yeah.
And, he was different. He was different gravy back then. Like his first year with Arsenal when he got promoted, he was amazing. He was quick, and now it's not the same player. I
think
think
to be one of the better red backs in the whole league.
Yeah, it was.
And he was
Barcelona kid.
Barcelona wanted him. He was linked with Barca every season. Unfortunately, I think his time is up. Now we got Tomiyasu. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. And now we got Ben White there, and we have You know, Cedric Suarez, you know, he's another player that I think they just keep him around. Being one of the young players, from Lacazette, he started choking him, you know, but like he just brings that different mentality. He's an older Ed, you know, and I think obviously Pepe, he's gone now, so I think we outgoings. I think we're fine now. I think that's as far as like this season goes. I think
like El Neni. Nothing in the midfield.
So there. I think El Neni. The thing was, I was very against El Neni before. It's just the fact that like he hustles, he provides something different, and I think with this season having so much more competitions, we need that you know, we need to have him. You know, he's not the best player. He's more of like I guess he's like a simple pass type of guy. Yeah. He's not gonna push up as much. But the thing with him is he just brings the energy, you know, and he's very like he stays to himself when it comes to it. And if it's time for him to step up, it's like Holding, you know. Yeah. Holding knows he's not gonna get a lot of minutes, but if the coach is like, you know what, we need to drop to a 5 back, Holding's like, all right, I'm going in, you know. Yeah. So he's that extra player that we need, and I think as far as this season goes, I think it's
Rob someone you want to get rid of.
No, I think Rob can stay. I think Rob can stay just because he's
purely on cover.
I think purely on cover. I don't think he's gonna
all for starting. Maybe in like an EFL Cup, maybe an FA Cup. Like that's it. Maybe,
right? That's pretty much it.
He's a backup. Like,
yes, absolutely. But there's guys. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's guys. Let me be the voice of reason. I'm supposed to be a neutral, but I do want to hop on this one because I do get what you're saying. Like El Neni and Rob Holding, they're not starters. They're not starters for Arsenal. But sometimes you also need not kids. Yeah. These are established players that have been in the league for a while. We have a super young team. And so sometimes you just need guys in the locker room that are leaders. In that same All or Nothing, or I think it might have been on YouTube, where I saw when Zinchenko came in, it wasn't All or Nothing because Zinchenko wasn't there, but when Zinchenko came in, one of the first guys to greet him was Rob Holding. He went up, he gave him a hug, was like, welcome to the club, we're happy to have you. And that's just something you need in the locker room. A lot of these young guys, they just want minutes, their playing time, their money, and they don't want to deal with like the outside things. And so Rob Holding can come in, not complain about playing time, not give Arteta another headache that he doesn't want to deal with. Yeah. Same thing with Elneny. He's not going to come in and give up the ball in the middle of the field where it's going to have a counterattack and a goal. You know, he's going to go in there. He may not win you a game, but he's not going to lose you the game. And so sometimes it's important to have those guys on the club.
Except from last year against Spurs.
Holding. True. Everyone has their moments.
He was a hero the week before, and then he comes into Spurs game, and then it was the type of game that it was. You know, it was the type of game that it was. That's why
it was very interesting that red card. It just sucked for the injuries there too, because White was there on the bench. Yeah. Wasn't fit enough apparently to start, but came on anyway. Yeah. And so at that point, I was like, man, like. He only missed about like 25 minutes of the game. Like, if anything, it should have been opposite. He should have been starting. And then you brought Rob Holding in around the 60th minute or whatever to make sure he's good. But anyway, that's what I was asking. There's a couple players that I know that are on the fringe there. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, probably don't have enough time right now to replace him. Yeah. And that's probably why you're going to have to hold on to him, especially with the schedule and all that. So.
Yeah. You only have so much money for. You can't have 15 world-class players, at the end of the day, you got to fill in those spots with guys that you think can still kind of contribute. And I feel like these guys are certainly guys that can do that. But not to make it all about that, where do you guys think your clubs finish this year? As by the time this episode comes out, Arsenal has a great start. Tottenham hasn't had too bad of a start. Yeah, where do you think your club finishes this year?
I mean, we've been good. I mean, I could see the difference in the team we had last year, starting with Nuno, the team progressing through Conte, and now one full preseason, and now Conte has started. You can see the idea where he's getting to be very locked in the back, and also very progressive when he pushes forward. I don't think he really wants to do that counterattack. The reason I say that is because a lot of teams have been pressing us, and we have to do that counterattack. I think he's trying to get more control in the squad. So the 6 people. 6 teams, I should say, we're all going to be really tight. And I think this year is going to be the tightest year we have seen in years. Yeah. Years. I mean, even before City was even dominant, it was still like every other year or so, there was still a different winner. Yeah. This year, man, we got 6 teams that are going for the top 4 positions.
And now you got Newcastle coming up too.
It's going to be so tough.
Even the newly promoted teams are some of them are putting in work.
And they're up there. So realistically, I think both of us would agree that we're all looking at the top 4.
Yes,
I don't know if it's such dreamland to think that we could do a title. I think that Liverpool and City have also gone out and changed their squads just enough to think that maybe we can get them this year. Maybe someone like Chelsea is not going to do as good as they did last year, and it's going to open the door up for someone like Tottenham and Arsenal to try to pounce on the top of the table, and that might be a really good possibility. I don't rule out us being a title contenders, maybe after Christmas, after the World Cup, but right now I'm very focused on the top four. I think top four is extremely important. The money you get from it, the players you get from it, like that has to be the number one realistic goal. Is top four. I want a title race. I want a title
Okay,
race.
so top four obviously is the goal, but you're thinking, look,
second or third.
Second or third. Okay, second or third. Okay.
I'm thinking second or third. Liverpool's not starting really well. They have a lot of depth issues, a lot of injuries issues. They might suffer for that. I don't know if y'all are ready to pass us yet after 6 years. I don't think that's going to happen. Chelsea, they don't have a striker. They have all these number 10s and wingers. I don't know what they're doing. So I think this is a year that we could at least finish second. And I think that should be a very realistic goal.
I mean, I think it should be time because Kane and Son are getting old. But I mean,
yeah, they're in the 30s now.
Yeah.
Kane third.
Now or never.
yeah,
So-
you guys have to put you guys a couple years.
Decline,
I mean, we're the second youngest team in the league again for the second year running. You know, like
we were like that too, though. You got to remember, 5 years ago, Dele Alli, Eriksson, Kane, Son. We were that. So, just saying, take your chances because you'll see you're growing. You'll see your growing season, and it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be all perfect, but you're right. You have the youngest squad, and you guys should be pushing for the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Luis, where do you think Arsenal finishes here?
Man, I don't want to get my
We're top of the league. We're top of the league.
No, I realistically, I think we should be aiming for top four. Last year, everyone knows what happened. Everyone knows that we had it. It was literally in our hands, and we just gave it to them. We taught him. Yeah, basically, and it was it just I think it came down to experience, depth. Everyone was tired, and obviously, but before the season even started, the way we started last season, we lost our first 3 games. No one would have thought we would be fighting for top four. And even before the season started, I wasn't even aiming for top four last season. We were saying, I'll be happy to go back to Europa.
Facts.
And then the fact that we were able to push for that, I was just like, I was happy about it, So I think this year, with all the improvements we made this summer and the players that we're getting rid of and we got rid of, I think top four. I'm thinking,
We're in the top four.
I'll say like at least third place because like he mentioned earlier, Liverpool, they're struggling right now, and I know it's the beginning of the season, but I think Mane was a bigger threat than Salah is to Liverpool. I get it, goals. Salah does bring goals, but Mane can play up top. He can play on the wing. Salah's just a right winger. He doesn't bring that much. He brings a threat, but right now Liverpool, they have their injuries. Man City, Haaland's an amazing striker, but the way that Pep has been playing these past seasons with Jesus and everything, he doesn't like playing with a striker. He never plays with a striker. Jesus is on the right, so I think it's a different system that they're going to have to adapt to, and I feel like that's what they've been struggling a little bit this season, and Haaland's Haaland, he's gonna put in work. He's scoring already, but I think it's just his system, and it's gonna take time, So that's why I think it's maybe like third place. I think realistically third place. I think Arsenal.
With Liverpool, I believe that that's going to be interesting to see because obviously Darwin Núñez just came in. I think with him, his suspension is also affecting them, so he'll be back soon. Yeah. And I think once they get him back, I think they're going to continue rolling. They may not be as strong because, like, I agree with you, Mane was a big loss. Yeah. But for them to have someone to step in, I think Darwin Núñez can do a job.
Yeah. And he's still young, so.
Absolutely. So, not just to keep it about our clubs, is there a team that either got newly promoted or a team that's maybe had more money recently in recent years, like a Newcastle, that's surprising you guys thus far? And do you guys think that there's a surprise team that can challenge for a top four other than our clubs?
I think definitely Newcastle is gonna be. I think the fact that they brought new ownership, they have all this money, they're signing all these players. They just signed Isak, and he's a really good. We were linked to Isak how many seasons? So many times,
Years,
So it's like. I think Newcastle, I don't know if they're going to do it the City way, when Chelsea, they bring all this money in, they bring all these players in. But I think Newcastle can definitely compete. You saw them against, City, last game, and it was, they put up a challenge, and they're putting in work. And I think this year they can definitely compete for I think at least Europa, and like top 4. You never know. I think it might take time. But if they bring a couple of players. That Bruno, the Brazilian, I wish Arsenal bought him.
I wish we bought him in the January.
Everyone did.
He's so good, man. He's a different type of player, and so I definitely think Newcastle out of everybody right now.
And for you, Andrew?
Yeah, so what I noticed in the City game with Newcastle, their depth right now. And I think that's the only reason that they won't push for top 4, that they're going to be more of like around the top 6, top 8 for sure. We'll see, because when they brought in their subs, like they were up 3-1. They brought in the subs and boom, 3-3.
Yeah.
Like they literally lost it because they didn't have the quality, someone like Bruno, to come off the bench. And so I think that's one thing. Also, your Nottingham Forest, your Leeds.
Yeah,
Nottingham
Forest is spending.
Oh my goodness, they're building their squad to run the top 10. I mean, your Leicesters, your Wolves are kind of trying to compete. So I think the new teams. I mean, I'm really interested in looking on the Forest. I think they've come on and just been really strong. I think their formation's really good. They've got the players that they needed. That's my team that I think is going to surprise more people.
Forest?
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
They have a bunch of signings too.
They spent a whole bunch of money this summer.
Almost
16, 17 signings.
Almost 150 some odd million. That they had been spent just this summer alone to get the squad back up to where they needed to be and stay here. They're going to remind me of like a Burnley, who's always good, and they're trying to push. So we'll see how far they go up the table.
Yeah, I do like that. Is there a club that you guys think maybe has had the name or has been up top in the last few years or has been close to the top that's going to underperform this year in you guys' opinion? I know United has had a super bad start. Leicester is like dilly-dallying. So
yeah, it's funny because we've been talking about all these teams, and United, I totally forgot about United. I honestly, like, not even because it was like we were talking Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and it's like, oh, United's still there, even though they did just win, But I think United is. I mean, they haven't won a trophy in what 7 years?
No, I think they won the FA Cup with Jose Mourinho about 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jose Mourinho won, and then he came to Tottenham.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
But I don't know. United, I don't know. I mean, they got Lisandro Martinez. They
we wanted him.
We are linked, but we wanted him as a left back. And they're using him as a center back, and I think Zinchenko is a better left back.
It has been 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
They won 3 cups.
Okay.
So it has been
Like
some
5
time.
seasons,
Yeah,
4 or 5
That's
seasons.
so crazy. It's been that long.
Yeah, it's been that long. That's
Jose
why
Mourinho literally left Man U and came to Tottenham.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, and you got guys like Ronaldo who won the league.
Yeah.
he won Champions League, and it's. And I get it. Arsenal and Man U are both playing Europa League, but I mean there was a big gap in points between like the fact that we both got Europa, and they got saved on the last day of the season.
Yeah, they needed it.
If not, they were going to go to the Conference League. I forget who saved them. I think West Ham or something
like that, right?
And it was like last minute type thing, and it was I don't know, Man U. They've been falling out for a few years now, and I don't think they're relevant at all. They will sign the big names because they have the money. They'll pay the wages. They're bringing someone like Casemiro that's amazing CDM. Yeah. But if you give him double the wages to come and play when he's already won everything, who's gonna say no?
Exactly.
It's and of course, like I think it's not Man U has that attraction. I think it's just the fact that they have the money, and that's the issue. Yeah. For so many seasons, they've been just throwing money at players on high wages, and they underperform. Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku, Pogba. Yeah. You have all these big players, and it's like they don't perform because Man U they just
want to spend a bunch of money. Like if it's FIFA,
you gotta start all over.
It's crazy. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think that Man U's going to slop.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be. I mean, they got too many good quality players to let that team go. Someone like the bottom, like West Ham, Leicester, Wolves. You guys have not started very well. I know it's the beginning of the season, but you can just kind of tell if you're playing 1 game a week, what's going to happen when you start playing 2 games a week.
True.
Leicester. That's my dumpster fire this year, hands down. From the moment that the transfer window opened and they didn't let James Madison and Tielemans go out, they have literally just been dragging themselves under the water.
And they haven't bought anybody, right?
I know they haven't bought
And the
anybody.
thing is, like, if the teams come for them and they release both of those players, they're gonna be like stuck with like
me and you playing center.
Honestly,
no,
like-
I'm kidding. No disrespect to the players at Leicester.
So Lookman, they brought in Lookman.
Oh yeah.
So
or Leipzig, but still, like, they should have got rid of their team, and they should have brought people that Brendan Rodgers wants to work for Brendan Rodgers. Right now, they've got a very dysfunctional squad. I think they're the ones that are going to be like the Everton this year, that are going to be fighting for the bottom three. Yeah, Everton will be all right. I think they'll be all right. But man, I think it's Leicester all day this year. Hey, man, watch out. They might be battling going back down this year. It might be that serious for them. We'll see.
yeah, true. Any concerns for our clubs this upcoming year? Like, any concerns for the
Losing
clubs?
to you guys.
That's the biggest concern. Yeah.
I mean, we already went to Chelsea and drew 1-1.
Okay.
That was the hardest fixture of the year. Going to Chelsea, and we already went 1-1.
Yeah.
So
Chelsea's a tough place to win.
it would be.
I mean, you guys were gifted that, but I mean,
you say gifted, but they hung in the game though.
Yeah.
They hung in the game, and Chelsea could not close it off. Chelsea had how many opportunities to score? They could have just scored, and that would have never happened. It would have not even mattered. But they had all these opportunities to score, and they didn't. I mean, what was it? I think it was Sterling had one. I mean, there were so many opportunities, but they just passed it back in the net. They skied it, and it was just. I just think losing to y'all will be. It'll be detrimental. We can lose the City, we can lose Liverpool, but if we lose to Arsenal again, maybe the Emirates would be okay. I guess I could take that as okay because it's a home game for you. But y'all can't come in our stadium this year. You ain't gonna beat us. And if that happens, that would be more demoralizing than anything.
we'll see. I think the style of football that we play, I feel like we'll get a win. I think both games. I strongly believe that.
Both games? You're not gonna
Yep.
sweep.
Both games. I think
Unfortunately,
behind the closed. Yeah. When the cameras turn off, I need a wager. No, but any injury concerns or any depth concerns or KT's always hurt, bro. So
man, I mean, if you saw All or Nothing, like I was mentioning, I didn't even realize that the last few games of the season when he got injured, he was already injured when he went to play for international duty. He got injured in the shower room, and it's like he's just I don't know. He's an amazing player. He's a really good left back.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm concerned about him. I'm concerned about Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's a really good right back. He can play center back.
Got hurt 2-3 times now?
He's missed like half the seasons, and I love him. He wins every aerial battle. He competes for every ball. He doesn't complain about anything. He's a hustler. And I think that's my biggest concern. And obviously this year we got Ben White that we could push out to the right. Now that we have Saliba, we could push to the center. So I think those are my biggest concerns. And Smith Rowe, Smith Rowe is a baller. He's beginning of the season last year, he was putting in work, and if he could stay healthy, I think he could definitely help us out a lot this year because we're gonna have a whole bunch of games, and he's gonna have to play, and hopefully he can stay healthy. He gets tired throughout the games. I don't know if he has that stamina issue. I don't know what it is, but he's a really good player. So I think I'm concerned about those 3 players, but I think if we could, and obviously if we have Jesus up top, healthy, we obviously because Nketiah he's a good player. But we're gonna need that extra, striker up top to rotate every other game.
Without Jesus this year, I don't know if top 4 is gonna be achievable for y'all.
Yeah.
To be honest, if he misses more than 10 games, I think that's gonna be highly in danger. You can miss a defender, and I think you guys will be okay.
Yeah.
And that's what segues into Tottenham. Is I don't think it's opposite for us. Someone like Christian Romero, he is our team.
Dude,
Without Christian Romero,
we
have
center back,
nothing in the back. Like it is not good. I mean, yes, Sanchez, come on. And he does good, and he can do a really good replacement. But without Romero's energy and just balls to the wall, like I'm getting that ball, there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
That in the defender is so important, and I think he's our number 1 important player. With Kane and Son, it doesn't matter. I mean, we got Richarlison.
Yeah, facts.
You think Richarlison's gonna be able to score the same amount of goals as Kane? As if Kane gets injured, you think Richarlison's gonna step up? And
I like that question.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, his work rate's there. And the difference between the 2 players is Kane does like to drop back usually, so
his
he's a little bit
passes.
more of a provider. That with Charleston won't necessarily will pass, but he's a really good hold-up play. So there'll be a little change of different styles of play between holding the ball and holding and passing the ball. And I think that's the key difference. Now, goals, it's difficult to say. I mean, it's Harry Kane.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to.
Honestly, if you guys didn't have Kane right now,
It's been like 3 years, I think, since he's had a 20-goal season. And it's his time. It's his time to get 20 goals. So I think it would be really hard to have Richarlison even keep up Kane. I before the season started, I said about 10 goals. I think 10 goals, maybe five assists for Richarlison, about 15 goal contributions for the league. For the league,
Off the bench,
I think that is what we are looking for him. We don't need him to be that. Even if Harry gets hurt, then obviously it's something different. But it's going to be tough, man. Richarlison's a baller, man. He's
My concern for you guys is Richarlison going to be okay taking a backseat role? I mean, he knew what it was.
Yeah, he already knows.
Yeah, he knew what it was, but it's one of those things where
he doubled his salary.
True.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah,
he's
it's
okay
true.
working for Conte, one of the world's best managers, to learn and to push for the Brazilian team.
Yeah.
That's the sole reason why he's there, to up his competition, to be around people that are world class versus someone like Everton who's world class and everything.
but don't you think that that's also going to affect
to say that.
the fact that he's not a starter? And with Everton, he was a starter, and it's like
Well, but he's still starting for Brazil. And that alone is like major stuff for Brazil. Look at Luis Paqueta. I mean, he's going to go to West Ham now. Is that going to ruin his thought because he's going to a lesser team? Because honestly, Lyon finishes higher than West Ham in their respective, league. So,
But in that, with Jesus coming into Arsenal and he's looking like a killer, like he's scoring goals, he's getting assists, he's playing week in and week out at arguably a top 4, top 6 club. And then you got Richarlison, who is at a top 4, top 6 club, but he's not getting the same amount of minutes. I know with the England squad, the England manager goes to a lot of these English games. So I know that the Brazilian manager must be watching these games, and he's like, you may forget about Richarlison because you don't see him as much.
Yeah.
Do you think that affects his
I don't think so
starting
because the number one sub off the bench, Richarlison. Their number one sub will always be Richarlison or a wingback because Conte loves his wingbacks and does double wingback substitutions like religiously. I don't know, whatever. But it's going to be Richarlison. So when you talk about minutes, he's still going to get 30 minutes almost every game. And there are cup games that he's going to start. I mean, Champions League.
You just got to slot goals. At that point.
And we're still trying to add more to the attack. That says it all. He's our 3rd/4th choice attacker right now.
Wow.
So if you think of it that way, he's someone off the bench, but he can easily come on and start immediately. And I don't know. I think his effectiveness is going to be really good to keep him fresh versus someone like Everton, where he was playing every single minute, and he might not have been playing very good because he was tired, because he was having to do everything. Right now, he's going to stay fresh, stay very focused. I think it actually might be really good for him. It might benefit. To be honest.
While we're talking about these 2 new signings, I mean we mentioned Gabriel, we mentioned Richarlison. What has been the best piece of the best piece of business our clubs have done in the past 3 years? Let's say 3 years. Best and worst. So give me a player that's been the worst signing and the best player, the best signing. Go ahead, guys. Luis, you want to start that off?
It's easy for
go
me.
ahead.
Okay. It's easy for Tottenham because obviously the worst is unfortunately Ndomboy. I mean, that man has the most talent I've ever seen in a football player. Like that man.
Wow. Okay.
That dude, he reminded me of Musa Dembele. That guy just gets the ball, goes around people. They cannot take the ball off of that man. I don't know what it is, but then comes to work ethic and it's just like, I guess I could jog over there. I mean, run? No, I'll jog. I mean, that's what he did. I mean, even when he was coming off the pitch, like, we're down 2-1. We need you to come up. Just walking. Like, dude. So he's definitely, unfortunately, been the biggest flop. Of course, the big price tag on him. I think, unfortunately, he had the most potential to change our squad, and he has failed, unfortunately. Romero or Perisic? I think you're going to be surprised about Perisic. If you don't know much about Perisic.
he's
Both-footed, 5-star. The man can do it all. But I think that Romero has been. I was trying to think of the fee. I think it's about $45 million that we paid for Christian Romero. It's been good business. That right there. It changed our entire defense having him back there. Changed everything. So I think he's definitely our most important of the past couple of years, and then Don plays. Fortunately, our least.
For you, sir.
Well, I think it's obvious. He's still there technically, even though we're loaning him out. I think Pepe
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't blame the player for the price tag. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
He had an amazing season in Ligue 1, and he was scoring bangers. He was providing assists. He was really good, you know. But you can't blame the player for the price tag. And Arsenal probably shouldn't have paid that. Different league, it might take it some time. You know, he scores goals. You know, the thing with him, like he mentioned with Andembole, like he's lazy. He loses the ball. He doesn't come back.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that, you know, that he doesn't provide that spark, you know, like he'll want to juke one player and it's like, come on, you have like an open pass on the left wing, like have that pass instead of like trying to take on 2-3 players, you know.
Exactly.
And so I mean, hopefully he comes back and you know he becomes a baller, you know. I'm not gonna root against him, you know. We're loaning him out, you know. He's coming back. There's no obligation to buy on that loan. It's just a straight up loan.
Yeah.
So I think that's obviously as far as recent seasons has gone. I think Pep is like the number one flop. And I'll say the best signing that I think in the few past seasons, and I know not everyone's gonna agree with me. I think it's Odegaard. Odegaard.
That's easy.
Because everyone like nowadays everybody's like, oh, Jesus, you know,
I
because he's
was gonna
scoring
say
goals.
Jesus or Saliba.
Yeah, Saliba. And the thing is, like Saliba, I know he's gonna be an amazing center back. He is an amazing center back. He's proven it. You know, he won Young Player of the Year last year in Ligue 1. You know, he got called up to the national team, and he's young. The thing with Odegaard is, you know, we didn't have that, you know, that spark in the middle, you know, like as a cam. And we got him for a bargain.
Yeah.
You know, it really cheap. And, you know, he like just scored 2 goals. It's not even because of that. He just brings that, you know, that different flow into the game. You know, he could drop, you know, receive the ball, open up. You know, it's just different. The way he plays is just so smooth. And I think that's the best sign that we've had in the past few seasons.
You're talking about one of the wonder kids of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, I mean, 2010,
Captain for
2012?
Norway too.
Yeah.
Now
And
captain
now
for
captain for
Arsenal.
Arsenal. And it's sometimes, you know, a lot of football fans. I'm a big basketball fan myself, and we get so enamored about stats, like stats. And sometimes Odegaard doesn't have the stats that may back up the production. But if you watch Odegaard off the ball, he's moving, he's tracking back, he's coming up, he's trying to put himself in positions. He may not be the most vocal also, so that might be another reason why people are like, But you don't have to be vocal. I mean, some people are leaders with their mouth, and some people are leaders with what they do on the pitch. And there's moments where I see him, and I'm like, man, he may have not had like a 10 out of 10 performance, but you could tell his impact was boom for the team we needed it. And so I do like that you said that, because it may not be like the popular opinion, but he is a guy that he gave us a little bit of stability in the center mid position, and he can play cam. I like
a
that.
lot of Christian Eriksen.
Oh yeah,
Because he kind of had the same effect where there's games where Eriksen was like non-existent.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not there.
They're not so
But
flashy. And
he
people,
might make that one pass.
Yeah.
That one pass that game, that one shot, and that's
difference.
it. That's all, you know. And that's what I see about Martin. Without Martin, you guys would be struggling. I mean, who are you gonna have? Smith Rowe in that position?
We got Fabio Vieira now.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'm
Wow.
curious. I mean, he's been injured. I mean, we'll see. He looks good. I mean, I watched.
He's gonna be very tactical.
I watched. He played one half with the academy, and I watched. He's playing on the right wing. I guess Arteta wanted to try him out on the right wing.
I did hear that.
But I think he likes to play more in the middle. So I think he might. Smith Rowe is also, they're trying to convert him more of a cam. So we'll see, you know. And I think another player that I want to add will be Martinelli. Just the fact that we picked him up for so cheap, so cheap. And
Thank you, Man United.
yeah, for so cheap. Oh yeah, he had that tryout, you know. And I think, I mean, he's an amazing player, you know. I think if he keeps going and he hustles for everything, he can score, you know. I think that's another player. And we got him for what, 7 mil, something around there, like, you know. So
They could build consistency. He could be very dangerous.
he's still young, yeah.
That's just one thing.
And you guys got Kulusevski, like that guy is.
Kulus is so
And that's why it's the same thing. It's consistency.
Youngster,
I mean,
too,
in the last game, Kulu did nothing. Granted, it was a different game, but like, you know, you can see where there are games where they're not going to be at
the same
top.
level. Yeah.
But you build that. That's how you become Chelsea. Or I would say Chelsea. Sorry, City, Liverpool type of consistent week in, week out title contenders. And that's how we share a lot of a lot of interest there. We're the same consistency.
Yeah,
is key.
consistency. Yeah. Let me ask you. I got a few more questions and we'll wrap up. Is there a youngster on current team that you guys have? Maybe U19, maybe U21, maybe a lone kid that you guys have on a team. And if there isn't, is there a kid that you see out there in another league that you may want on the team? Like, I know we have Charlie Patino. I know we have, you know, Aziz. Kids that may not, you know, be making an impact now because they're youngsters that, you know, we may be looking for the future. Is there anybody that comes
There's
to mind?
easy. There's three guys that we talked about 2 or 3 years now. Like Detroit Parrott, Dane Scarlett, and Alfie Devine. Those guys are they're all respectively in their initial squad. The England squad with Alfie Devine and Dane Scarlett just won the under-21 European competition.
Wow.
So there's definitely maybe like 2 years down the road. Okay. 2 years. I mean, they're all loaned out. They're all respectively doing their loans, and they're trying to compete for a team week in and week out. So I would say those two are going to be the ones that are under 21 that have. Yeah, I would say so for sure. I mean, Alfie Devine's already. People have been trying to buy him for about 10 to 20 million already, just because he's English. They like what they see, but
no, he's ours. Yeah, want to keep him because we just lost Hutchison, and I think that was a big one that I'm like, man, he could have eventually. I don't think he was ready anytime soon, but I think eventually he could have, you know, made some noise because, in my opinion, Chelsea's midfield is a little bit better than ours right now. So I feel like he would have had a better chance with us.
They're also old.
Yeah, that is very true.
Jorginho, Conte, Kulovic, is 28. So, you know,
maybe a fresh young
might need
player.
that.
Anybody in mind that you may want if we don't already have him, or somebody who's in the
that I would want a whole bunch, but I think as far as like from our academy, would probably be Patino. You know, he's playing at Pool. You know, I've seen some of his games. You know, he looks smooth. You know, he's been doing really good. He's a different type of player. He reminds me of like, I don't know, Santi Cazorla. You know, he just smooth with the ball. You know, he drops. You know, I think he's still young, and the other one will probably be Balogun. You know, he's scoring right now. He's in League One. You know, we loaned him out. I always liked him when he came on off the bench, like in small cup games and everything. I feel like he's different. You know, he's a type of. I think he's a different type of player than Eddie. You know, I think Balogun's more of a, you know, tries to be more skillful, you know, but he has that eye for goal, you know. I think right now those would be my top two right now that I'm most excited to see hopefully come back to the first team someday.
The thing with Balogun that I like is he's already like there's things that you can't teach, which is size. He already has a really solid frame for such a young player, and as a striker, I mean, obviously you want a solid striker most of the time.
Three games, 3 goals.
Wow, Balogun. Wow.
Yeah. I saw him do a Rabona and everything. I know Rabona's not gonna win you goals. Just his team is so bad.
You know a thing or two about some Rabonas.
Anyway, but still lost that game, right?
No.
It was a good goal. Don't get me wrong.
Lucas winner.
It was a good goal. But Balogun, he scored 3 goals, and it's just his team isn't. I've seen he's dishing out really good passes. His team is not very good. So I think, but I mean, obviously he's getting minutes. He's playing in the Ligue 1. I think it's going to help him out a lot.
All right, so guys, I had a question for you. This upcoming week, we play Aston Villa. Score predictions for that game?
I think we should take it. They have a couple of injuries. I think we should have a comfortable win. I think at least 2-3-1.
Okay.
Maybe a clean sheet. They're injured out in the back with Diego Carlos out. I think it should be an easy win.
Okay. So clean sheet or 3-1 or 2-1?
2-0.
2-0.
I'll
Okay.
change it 2-0.
2-0. Okay. And you, sir, you guys play West Ham.
Yes, in the midweek, North London rival.
Oh man.
For them.
For them.
So
we not worried about y'all. Y'all worried about us?
We always scream West Ham. The bubbles. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, it's going to be our first game midweek. We'll see if we're going to do, mixing the squad. It might be our first real test to see what our backups or our subs that we brought in, what they have, because some of them are going to have to start. It's going to be a strong season. Conte, I don't think we're going to lose very much, so it should be another dub. It should be 2-1, 3-1. I mean, maybe 2-2 is the worst case scenario. I think is 2-2. Yeah. But I just can't see us losing. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to lose to West Ham. I don't know.
Okay. So 2-1.
I think like at least 2-1. I think that's a really good result.
All right, you heard it here first. Place your bets, Virginia. And then last question: in the next 3 years, where do you see your clubs? Start with you, Luis.
Back in Champions League. Next 3 years, I think that's very doable. We were a Champions League team forever. I think we should be back there. I think with the squad we have, and we just keep building off that. I think we should be back in Champions League, and I think we should. I don't know about winning it, but I think we should be competing. I think we should definitely be competing in Champions League, and hopefully in the next 3 years, I think we'll be back in Champions League football and competing out there. Maybe like quarterfinals. Something like that will make me happy. I'll be realistic. I mean, because I'm not gonna say we're gonna go out there and win it because honestly, it's gonna be tough. It's the Champions League. You never know. You look at Madrid. Everyone expected them to be out. They had no signings from last season. And they went out and beat all these amazing teams. So there's always going to be a team that's going to make a run. And Madrid is Madrid. Don't get me wrong. But it's just the fact that it's you just got to get lucky sometimes.
Yeah.
And Madrid did get lucky. So I don't know. I want Arsenal back. I'm tired of watching Arsenal on Thursdays. It's not the same. It doesn't hit the same. The song doesn't hit the same. The stadiums don't hit the same. I don't want to.
I don't need to hear that.
I want to hear that. I don't want to see no trains in the back of the stadiums and everything. Champions League football. I think the next 3 seasons.
Oh, I agree. Yusuf.
Well, I mean, we all know what Tottenham wants. That's a trophy.
Yeah. A trophy. Any
trophy.
trophy.
Anything. At this point, anything.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine though. We are competing at the highest level with Champions League. It's going to be very, very difficult. We got an easy group. Should be able to do something this year. Hopefully, at least go to the quarterfinal this year. And hopefully, we can actually run one of the domestic cups. That'd be nice. Conte doesn't necessarily. He puts priority on the league and Champions League versus the cups. But hopefully, we can have our squad. We can build and. The next 3 years, he seems like he wants to be here. He's already making signings for the future with Destiny. I mean, he said he wanted that guy. He's going to have him for the next year. So with Conte for the next 3 years, if a league title's not under our name, I'm going to be disappointed.
Wow.
Honestly, I would say for 3 years, if we don't get a title like that, I mean, Conte's here to win.
Yeah.
And he's here to win a title, not an FA Cup, maybe not even the Champions League. He's here to win the league. And with Harry Kane up top, he's here to win the league.
Yeah.
Would you be happy with any cup at this point?
For our first, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we don't get the league with Conte as our coach, it's gonna be really tough to build the next project with an envision of us winning the league. If we couldn't do it with all of our successes we've had great coaches in the past 5 years. Pochettino, Mourinho, now Conte, and we can't win the league with either one of those coaches. It's gonna be really tough to sell. I think that's what we have to get. We have to get the league. I think that's our prize.
I feel like out of all this, Tottenham's more of a win now mode, and Arsenal's more of a let's wait 2-3 years and see what we can do. Because even the signings that we're bringing in, 21 to 25, like you can tell it's intentional. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, like you said, Harry Kane in his prime now, Son in their prime now. They don't got time to dilly dally. They don't got time to wait for another coach and another manager and another manager. They're in a win now mode. And I'm interested to see how both of our clubs do. And it's love. It's all. What is the saying? All is fair in love and war.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, hopefully we come on top. But it's going to be interesting to see. We're super early in the season, and hopefully we can do some more of these episodes. Guys, thank you for watching and tuning in. Subscribe if you like the content. Like it. Luis and Andrew. Any last words to final?
Come on, you Spurs.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Come on, you Gunners.
We're out. Peace.